I used to tell folks that I'm a hobbyist, not a professional, but recently I felt like that's changed. Cozy RPG Reviews is growing, becoming less of a hobby and more like a second job for me. I'm so happy and excited about that, but I need to think carefully about that transition, the increased workload and costs, and how to navigate it in a way that's ethical and doesn't alienate anyone. The survey results massively helped with that. For now though, I want to talk about the shape of things to come. The very short version is that the casual viewer won't notice any difference at all, but if you're watching this, you're probably a bit more than a casual viewer and you value my transparency. So here's all the behind the scenes stuff that's been going on and how I intend to monetize the channel. I'm hoping you'll stick with me through this transition. I might make mistakes, but I'll be taking it slow and careful and listening to you guys. So here we go. Instead of running a big pile of 2 review books that kind of stresses me out, I'll be running a slot-based system. Over an 8-week cycle, I'll have 4 to 5 video slots. 2 will be for designer-submitted games, 1 will be for either my personal pick or a video essay or guide, something like that, and 1 will be an audience pick. Whenever the audience slot opens up, I'll start a poll of the games folks have been talking about or recommending recently. Whatever wins will go into the slot regardless of whether I own it yet or not. Voting on the poll will be a benefit of either Ko-fi or Patreon membership. So that's a new thing, we've got Patreon membership now. But anyone at all can recommend games that might end up in the poll. My intention is for reviews to always be the main content of the channel, and ideally free of commercial influence. Patreon membership will massively help with this. I'm hoping to use a model similar to Seth Skarkowski's, where review videos are ad-free, but guides and essays could be funded by sponsors. And for the time being, I'll stick to promoting TTRPG related stuff that might be genuinely interesting to you guys. In addition to those 4 slots, I'm considering keeping a sponsored slot in reserve. That's not for reviews, that's for things like previews of upcoming projects that will be clearly distinguishable from reviews before you click on the video. I'll only accept things in this slot that are genuinely interesting to me and give me the freedom to speak my mind. No marketing copy. Small designers will always be able to contact me about their game, and I'll never charge them for a review. The sponsored slot is more for publishers with a marketing budget and time frame. For now, that stuff is what I'll be focusing on. There will be occasional extras too. APs will focus more on audio and will probably end up on podcasting services at some point, and or a second channel. And finally, an option I want to explore is stuff like guest writing or VOs for upcoming games. I suspect this is a great option for everyone, publishers, designers, creators, and the audience, so I'll be pushing for things like that. Business-wise, I only want to deal with folks who are TTRPG adjacent, understand my goal of getting eyes on smaller games, and understand that I'm not interested in sacrificing the trust you guys have placed in me over the last year and a bit. Thank you so much for being a part of this. I know that we've had a big impact on a fair few small games. I know some might argue, but I think we're in a golden age of small indie and in particular solo games. The market just needs our help to realise that. So moving on to the survey results then. And thank you again so much anyone who took the time to fill this in. I think it was a relatively good sample. I was hoping for around 100 responses and I got more than double that. Obviously, there's something of a selection bias in that the people responding to things like this are likely more engaged than the average viewer. So this survey is more about the core audience, what you'd like to see and what you're happy with, rather than about reaching new viewers. So question 1, How would you describe yourself? I didn't want to go overboard with demographics questions, but I was curious to test something I suspected, that the makeup of the core audience is not the same as the viewership demographics data that YouTube gives me. It looks like I was right about that. It's not quite the proportion that actually make up the hobby, but with over 21% of the core audience being women, it's not as dire as YouTube tells me it is. Also, shout out to the nearly 14% NBs, all happy to identify in anonymised surveys. Question 2 then, what kind of tabletop playstyles do you tend to prefer? I was curious about the kinds of traditions and table cultures that viewers come from. It looks like a healthy mix, with a slightly low representation of old school and tactically minded gamers. That's interesting but not unexpected. There's still a cultural divide there, even if designers have generally moved on from the Forge versus OSR camps. My videos probably come across as more 4G. I was a little surprised by the spread, but to be honest, I'm not sure what I expected to see. Question 3 and 4 then. How often do you add a new game to your collection, and do you tend to prefer physical or digital books? These are about the consumer habits of the core audience. Do they regularly buy games? Do they collect physical books? It seems most folks will buy a few games a year and tend to prefer physical products. I think this is a good match for the video frequency and physical focus of Cozy RPG reviews, though it does seem that people might be happy to see the occasional digital-only game reviewed, which is helpful info, although I personally find PDFs a bit difficult to read. Question 5, what kinds of games do you associate with Cozy RPG reviews and want to see more of on the channel? This question served a few purposes. One was to look for discrepancies. The red bar being higher than the blue bar means I'm not covering enough of those sorts of games, and if there's a very low red bar compared to blue, then I might be over-focusing on those games. Another thing was to see what the reputation of the channel is. No huge surprises here, though it seems like you guys want to see more weird experimental stuff. And people still associate the channel with cozy stuff. I don't know where you got that idea. Question 6, what makes you decide to watch a video? I wanted to check what the features of the channel that people appreciate are, and what I should worry about less. It's interesting that the specific game being covered isn't as important as I thought it might be, although it might be more important to new viewers. We also start to see some cat appreciation come out here. Question 5, as a result of watching a video, have you ever bought a game, played a game, wishlisted a game, decided against buying a game, or none of the above? This was an important question to me, so I made it required. The question is essentially, what impact do my words have on purchasing decisions? And the answer is even more than I expected. 95% of respondents have taken some kind of action or decision after watching one of my videos. Around 66% have even spent their hard-earned money. It's quite a responsibility. I also think it's useful for publishers and designers to see the impact that genuine independent reviews can have. Question 6 then, apart from reviews, is there any other content I should be looking at making? This was a super interesting result that told me a few things. The core audience might like APs a bit more than I expected, and might even appreciate a dedicated space for that content. That's definitely food for thought. There was a massive interest in longer deep dives, video essays, and how-to guides, which I'm really happy to hear because I enjoy that kind of thing. And folks aren't very interested in short-form content, which is good, neither am I, really. Question 7 and 8, what are the elements of an especially good video and what would you like to see more or less of on videos? I'm really surprised so many folks took the time to write more personalised messages about the channel going forward, and there was a really clear theme. Cat. You guys really like Drift way more than I thought, so he'll be forever welcome in the videos. It's a big reading list, so I won't go through it all, but the core message is that there are some clear defining features of this channel that people stick around for, and people want to see a variety of games and content. Question 9. How do you feel about paid promotion of TTRPGs in YouTube videos? This was the biggest shock by far. In my interactions with publishers and marketing people, paid promotion from content creators has seemed to be the norm, and I kept having to explain that I don't do that, which confused them. I honestly didn't realise that the core audience would be understanding of me getting paid for my work in that way. I still won't do paid for reviews, but it seems like I've been too strict on other ways of showcasing games. Having a review format and then a clearly distinct sponsored showcase format seems like it might be a good compromise. That way, small indie designers can still contact me about a genuine review without feeling like they need to pay, but publishers with more marketing capital can choose to either pay for some guaranteed coverage or take their chances with a review submission. Question 10. How do you feel about the ethical standards of Cozy RPG reviews? So this was mainly to give me a way to check for any ethical shortcomings I might not have considered. I'm still very new to this, and it seems like I've been doing alright, and a few people took the opportunity to remind me that monetization isn't necessarily a bad thing. Thank you for that. As an aside, it's time to talk about why these monetization themes are quite prevalent in the survey. I did talk about that in the previous section, but for anyone who skipped to the survey results, I know that I haven't been earning as much as I could have, and that was intentional. I wanted to be cautious and absolutely sure I was doing the right thing. This has been a hobby that just about pays for itself, but I feel like the channel is on a trajectory where I'll need to make some decisions I've been avoiding. I feel like it's transitioning from hobby to second job, and I don't mean that it's become less fun, far from it. But the amount of admin naturally increases, keeping up with emails, comments, convention plans, collaborations, etc. Fortunately, with that extra workload comes more opportunity, and so it's come time to make those money-related decisions that I've been putting off. This survey was super helpful and made me feel like you guys would be supportive of that transition. And you'll stick around and let me know if I mess up. Question 11. So on that note, here's a big one. How do you feel about ways I can make this hobby/job grow sustainably? For the most part, nothing seems to be a deal breaker, which is nice. As expected, you don't like mid-roll ads. You also agree with me on tips, membership schemes, and guest writing being some of the better ways to monetize. So that's what I'll be aiming for. I'm not sure how I feel about affiliate links. All the ones I've turned down in the past have been from companies I wouldn't want to send the audience to. There is a drive-through affiliate scheme, which is at least reputable, though I get the feeling we're more of an itch crowd than a drive-through crowd. The merch store's result is interesting. I don't know about that stuff, I'll have to have a think about it. And of course, there's the very surprising sponsored content result. Question 12, Ko-fi or Patreon? Another surprising result. I was checking here for if there's a preference for the more professional feeling Patreon versus the more chilled out tips focused Ko-fi. Patreon slightly beats out Ko-fi, but the clear answer is both. Okay then, both it is. And question 13 and 14, people have said what a great community I have. And I get what they're saying. The video comments are overwhelmingly positive, even when people don't like the game. But I don't really feel like there is a community where you guys talk to each other, and that was reflected in question 6. To be honest, I'm not comfortable basing a community around myself. I know it's the done thing to have a Discord server, but I don't want the hassle of moderating one, and I don't like that it's not web-based and searchable. And I don't know about you, but I'm in far too many Discord servers to keep track of already. So if there was a very clear demand for something like that, I might change my mind, but there doesn't seem to be right now. So that's it. To end with then, here's what I have in the designer submitted slots at the moment. And if you want to recommend a game for the audience pick shortlist, I've got a post and a chat open to all members, free or paid, over on Patreon right now. So thank you again for sticking with me during this, and here's to another year of weird little indie games.